My subscribers know my favorite game is straight pool. As of today, I have made 93 Rack of the Week videos, all about straight pool. But today begins a new series, the Run of the Week. No straight pool here. The game could be 9-ball, 10-ball, 1 pocket, 8-ball, or who knows? And I cannot think of a better run to start us off than Efren Reyes' winning out at the 1995 Sands Regency Open 21. This is the run with the shot heard round the world. Efren's famous Z shot. All right, enough talk. Let's get into the run. Earl breaks well. It may not be one of his best breaks, especially as far as he's concerned, but I think he breaks pretty well. Cue ball came close to the side pocket. The 1 ball did not go in the side pocket and went up table. He did make the wing ball, the corner ball, I believe it was in this pocket. So he's not entirely pleased in that. He would have liked to have a better shot on the 1. If he had a real good shot on the 1, you can guarantee that he'd run out. I'll hit pause real quick. From here, in an earlier part of the match, you might see Earl cut this 1 ball in and just come straight down table. This is 1995. This isn't as slick of a Simonis as we're used to seeing today. And it might be possible to cut that in and hold the cue ball maybe up in the center table somewhere for a reasonable cut shot on this 3. The problem with this speed of cloth is it's a really thin cut and the 1 ball might not get into the pocket. So I think, and then that may not be the whole reason why Earl plays safe, but at Hill, I think it's a smart play to play safe, even on, if it was modern times, on real fast cloth. I think you have a higher percentage of winning the game with a good safety, and especially because there's a bit of a cluster of balls down here in the bottom left corner. Earl goes right to it, and he's trying to just draw the cue ball over behind the 8, and the 1 ball is going to go this way down to the center of the bottom rail. That's what he's hoping for. I think he didn't hit it hard enough. He didn't quite draw it enough, because if he hit it a little bit harder, the 1 would have come all the way down to the center of the bottom rail, and the cue ball might have come tighter and come in below the 8. Efren's going to go check on something. There's Laura Smith taking pictures, as she often did back in the day, and still does, I believe. Now, this is a difficult shot for Efren. Let me hit pause on this one. It's 12-12, and these guys have been trading racks like crazy the whole match. Every ball has a pocket. Efren's looking at this table thinking, I want to run out, but he has a couple of problems, 3 problems on this run out. The first is the shot on the 1 ball, because it's a very long shot. Now, it's not that sharp of a cut, and you expect him to make it, but you don't want to slow roll a ball that length of the table. You want to put a little bit of a stroke on it. He doesn't want the cue ball to hit the 9. That's the big problem. He's fine with the cue. He'd love for the cue ball to come this way and come up here. He needs an angle on this 3 to bring the cue ball over here for the 4. So that's the first problem, is pocketing the 1 and retaining a shot on this 3 ball without disturbing the 9. If that's accomplished, I would expect Efren to run out, because the cue ball is going to come this way. He'll have an angle either straight in or some kind of angle on this 4 ball rather. The 4 ball is purple in 1995, guys. And so he's going to be able to shoot the 4 and bump the 6, knock the 6 over. In doing so, hopefully the cue ball will stop something like here. That's going to preserve, I'll get rid of my lines. So the 4 ball's gone, the 1, 3, and 4 are gone. The cue ball's going to be here. He's going to have enough of an angle to send the cue ball like this, 3 rails for short side position on the 7 ball in this pocket. So that's a routine run out for any good player, and especially for Efren. So Efren took a lot of time on this 1 ball shot. He's not just looking at the 1; he's looking at the whole table, because the announcers mentioned it as well. He doesn't have to shoot either. He has an excellent safety, because Efren can shoot the 1 ball here, and it's going to go up to the top of the table, and then he can stun the cue ball in behind here, and that is a tight safety. I think that's a really good safety. That might be a better option than going for the shot. But players of that day, just like players of today, they prefer shooting to a safety when it's a shot that they feel they can make. They feel like they can play safe at any time if they need to, but if they have a shot on the ball, they want to go for it. And that's how Efren feels too. And you watch when Efren shoots this, yeah. So he's putting a lot of thought into this. He's thinking, he's weighing the odds of running out, the odds of making this ball, and the percentage of winning the game on a safety. And he elects to pocket the ball. Now he's trying to cinch this ball. He's going to put a medium soft stroke on it. See that? He did not want to hit the 9. So now it's time to contemplate his options again. So he's thinking about the same thing that I just mentioned if they show the table, because he can play a safety on this 3 ball in the same way that he could play a safety on the 1 ball. He can draw the cue ball. Here we go. He's already decided to shoot. You know what I'm going to say. He could do the same thing. He could send the 3 ball up here and bring the cue ball over behind these cluster of balls. And he thought about that, but he's deciding to go for the run out. And the reason why, the camera doesn't quite show up, but you remember where the 4 is. The cue ball is this is a patented spin shot by Efren. It's a pinch spin. He's going to have a lot of right English, and the cue ball is going to go to the rail and zing, spin over here. He's going to be guaranteed an angle to cut the 4 and run into the 5. So he's judging that his opportunity to win this game is best, not by a safety, but by remaining at the table. He doesn't want Earl to get back to the table. Now, the cue ball came a little bit farther than he wanted. He was trying to get the cue ball against the rail, because then he's got the angle to knock the 4 and maybe even the 6 out of the way. He has to shoot. There's no safety here. And so what he's trying to do, he's got a very slight angle rather than a big angle, but he's still trying to overcut the 4 a bit and not run into the 9, and he thinks the 9 ball is going to knock the 6 away. And the commentators, if you've watched this with Billy and Cardona and Jim Rempe talking about it, he thought he was going to knock the 9 ball into the 6 and clear both of them away. This is what a champion does when they make a mistake, or at least a champion like Efren. He smiles. Now watch him motion with his left finger. See? He was trying to move the 6 as well. So that's the reason why he drew it that hard. If he thought that, if Efren thought that he was only going to move the 9 ball, then he would have drawn that softly, because then the cue ball would have only drawn like this far. And then that's great, because he can cut in the 6, or cut in the 5, come around 2 rails, and have a shot on the 6. And he can either play this angle here to draw back up here for the 7, or he can play the cue ball farther and give himself that angle that I mentioned earlier to come like this, short side position on the 7 in the corner. So he thought that the 6 was going to move the 9, and it didn't. So now he's looking at the safety. And I want you to take a look at everything that Efren does, where his eyes are looking and where he's motioning with his hand and his cue. Because he's not just trying to stick the cue ball behind this 6. He's doing this in a specific way. Did you see what he motioned to? So I'll go back to it, but I want to mention this first of all. I'll play that again, but he motioned with his cue stick. Right here is where he motioned, this side of the 8 ball. Now, why did he do that? Because he knows that the 5 ball is going to bank here, and then he expects the 5 ball to hit the 8, then go to the rail and over like this. That's what he's expecting that 5 ball to do. And another reason why you know that, aside from the fact that he motioned to it, when he plays safe, he puts the cue ball here, not here. You might think that you'd want to put the cue ball here, but if you put the cue ball here and the 5 ball leaks out, you can leave a return safety for Earl right there. If the cue ball leaks out past the 6 and the 5 ball leaks out this way, you're going to leave a safety. Efren is really smart on his tactical play. He's trying to stick the cue ball right here on this side of the 6. And that's going to block the 5, whether the 5 stops here or here or over here or over here. That's going to block Earl from seeing the 5. That's the reason why he shoots this shot that way. Let me see if I can back up to that point again. Yeah. Watch Efren motion with his cue stick. He's planning exactly where the cue ball and the 5-ball are going to go. Here he goes. See that? Right here is where he motioned, the left side of the 8-ball. Okay, let's watch him shoot it. Those of you who have watched this a million times like me, you know what happened. He didn't get the 5-ball exactly where he wanted and made the combination. Look what he does, laughing and smiling. What other player is going to do that? It's just another performance for a champion like Efren. And it happened, and he's just going to deal with it. And he says later on in the interview that he figured he lost from there. He's looking about, how am I going to kick at this? The commentators are, Earl's joking around. He feels like he's won the tournament, and he should. I'd feel like I was in a pretty darn good spot. The announcers are talking about the fact that Efren might kick to the left side rail and just try to come up here and nip the edge of the 5 and bring the cue ball back down table. I don't think that's possible to even hit the 5-ball that way. And the only way to hit the 5-ball 1 rail is to go this way. They keep moving the camera on me. There we go. The only way to hit the 5-ball 1 rail, he can hit the rail about here. He'd have to elevate and use a lot of left English and try and bring it up here. That's really low percentage. So he chooses the Z shot, which we've all seen, which most of us, I think, have seen. And here's what's interesting about this shot. Now we've got a good angle to look at it. If you were going to try to hit this 5-ball, if the 7 wasn't there, Efren can shoot past the 6 and hit about here on this side rail. So if he shoots without English, the cue ball is going to go here. And then he's going to hit it hard, and it'll bounce sharply off of this rail and hit the 5. That's what he'd like to do, but he can't because the 7-ball's in the way. And so when Efren shoots this, you're going to see him hit the rail down lower about here. And he has to do that. And Earl mentions it in the post-game interview. He has to hit lower on this rail and use left spin to get the cue ball up here so that it'll rebound and hit the 9. Hit the 5-ball. More than once in my pool career, friends and I have set this shot up and tried to make the 5. And we've missed even hitting the 5 10, 15 times in a row. Just to make this shot on the first try is just incredible. And the fact that it's hill, finals of a tournament against the best 9-ball player in the world at the time. Just incredible. What a shot. Efren does the right thing. He goes over to shoot, but everyone's still cheering. When you make a shot like that, you reset, you regroup. He walked over, grabbed a little bit of powder from the table, and then he's going to shoot again. The announcers try to make a big deal out of the shot. He kind of understrokes the 6-ball. See how he kind of punched it rather than stroking it smoothly? He would have liked the cue ball to come back a little bit farther, but this is not a big deal. Now, on the cloth of today, the really fast Simonis that we're used to playing on today, look at what he does too. He has the presence of mind in the heat of the moment to go clear the pocket. Now, I'll let him get down on the shot. On the cloth of today, the really slick cloth, I think most players are going to shoot this with high right English and let the cue ball go to the rail, spin to the side. Well, my line's not straight, but spin to the side rail above the side pocket, and the cue ball will come down a little bit like this and have that shot on the 9-ball. That's how you play with slick cloth, you bunting and spinning. But on this is still good, real good quality Simonis cloth, but it's slower than the cloth we have today. And so Jim Rempe even mentions that he shoots the right shot, which is a punch draw. And a lot of players sometimes on that shot would get too much English on that cue ball, and when the cue ball hits this rail, this English would take and the cue ball will spin like this, and you can end up right here in no man's land trying to cut this 9-ball in. But Efren hit that really well. He hit it that punch draw without any extra side spin, so that when the cue ball hit the rail, it came straight off and gave him a great angle on the 9-ball. And it's such a good angle, and everyone's in such a good mood that Earl comes over and congratulates him. And I want to freeze frame it right there. Right there. I know we've all heard stories about Earl, but he is a fan of pool. And this is some of the best sportsmanship you'll see, not just from Earl, but from any pool player. He's sincerely happy for Efren making such a spectacular shot to close out. So the post-game interview in this match was really interesting, and I'll just play a couple of real quick clips from it. The first is Earl when he's asked about this shot.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've been playing pool for 25 years, and I've only seen that shot made on me twice. And one of those times was tonight. Keith McCready made that same shot on me in 1984 when we were playing call shots in the Clyde Childers tournament in Richmond, Kentucky. And I was sitting there looking at it. I said, he can't go one rail. He's got to kick 2 rails. I said, Keith made this shot on me one time in 25 years. And I said, is it possible he could make the same shot that Keith made, 11 years ago? And he did. I'm thrilled for him. That was a great shot.
I'm thrilled for him. That's what Earl said. And this is what Earl had to say about Efren.
I played all of them. He's the greatest.
When it was Efren's turn at the microphone, he had this to say about his shot.
Well, I got lucky on that. I thought I'm blessed already. It's very hard to kick that, but I need luck.
That probably will go down as one of the greatest shots that I think I've ever seen.
And to be fair, here's what Efren had to say about Earl.
But it's tough to beat.
Earl certainly was right. That was a shot heard around the world. The greatest 9-ball shot, perhaps, in history. Thanks for watching. Hope you like that. See you next week on Run of the Week.